Mark says he saw the group before he came in. Matthew says he went in and then saw the flute players. So there's different things that he saw. I'm not rearranging it. And saw the minstrels. He comes to the house of the synagogue and sees the tumult. So before he sees the tumult, he actually goes in. Luke, he permitted no man to go in. Okay, so from Luke and Mark, he permitted no man to go in, save those three. Or from Mark, he allowed no man to follow him. I'll put in, to follow him in. In from Luke. So should I say permitted or allowed? I think there was one time where I had this option with the Gadarene demoniac saying they wanted to follow him. However, Jesus allowed him not, but said to him, return to your own home and to your friends. So I used allowed in that sense. Allowed no one to follow him. Permitted. I think I'll just go with permitted because I haven't used that yet. I used allowed earlier. I'll go with permitted. Luke and Mark, Luke only permitted no man to follow him. No man to. So no man to is both. No man to. Mark, follow him. Luke, go in. So I'm going to say follow him in. Follow him is Mark, and then in from Luke. Luke continues, save Peter and James and John. Mark, save Peter and James and John. Okay, so that's both. Save Peter and James and John, now from Mark only, the brother of James. Luke goes on, and the father and the mother of the maiden. So I'll have Luke finish this up. And the father and the mother of the maiden. And when Jesus came to the house of the ruler of the synagogue, he permitted no man to follow him in, save Peter and James and John, the brother of James, and the father and the mother of the maiden. Luke continues, and all wept and bewailed her, but he said, weep not, although he sees them first. Mark, I already have, he comes to the house of the ruler of the synagogue now, and sees the tumult, and them that wept and wailed greatly. And when he was come in. So maybe he sees the tumult from outside. There's a period after maiden. So I can't just go with and sees. It has to be and he sees. Or and when he sees. And when he was come in, he said to them. Matthew, and saw the minstrels and the people making noise, he said to them. So he sees the tumult and them that wept and wailed greatly before it says, and when he was come in. Which means he must have been outside when he sees all these people. I think I might have to put that before I say he permitted no man to follow him in. he sees them from outside, because the next verse is, and when he was come in, he said to them. Because I don't know how to put that after. He permitted no man to follow him in, save Peter and James and John, the brother of James, and the father and mother of the maiden. Then, and he sees the tumult, and them that wept and wailed greatly. That would mean that there's no explanation as to why only those people are coming in. Then he sees a massive number of people. But it makes way more sense to say that he arrived, he sees a huge amount of people, and then he decides to have a smaller group follow him in. That makes perfect sense because there's less room. I think I'm going to do that. And again, I know I'm putting verse 37 after verse 38, but Luke has that he came to the house, and then it explains that he permitted no man to go in, save them. And then it says, all wept and bewailed her. But he sees the tumult. So that has to be before he goes in. But here in Luke it says he goes in, and then all wept and bewailed. When can I say he sees them? Can that go after? No, it can't go after he went in. He sees them before he goes in. That's how it's explained in Mark. He sees all this tumult, and when he was come in, he spoke to them. And it explains that these three are following him in, which means that has to be also after he sees the tumult. Yeah, I think it makes sense to put 37 after 38. I'm not very comfortable doing this, but it does make more sense. Would it make sense to say, he allowed no man to follow him, then he comes to the house and sees the tumult, then he goes in? Would that make sense also with Luke saying, he went into the house and permitted only these to follow him and saw the tumult? No. He arrived, saw the tumult, then allowed only those to follow him in, and he goes in. That's got to be the order. He sees all the group of people and then allows only a smaller group to follow him in. So I'm going to put that after he came to the house of the ruler of the synagogue, and before he permitted no man to follow him in, save those three. So after synagogue, Mark 5:38b. I'll save what it does say in Luke, where it's similar, 52, and all wept and bewailed her. Then he responded to the weeping. So I'll say he saw them weeping and bewailing, and then when he came in, again, they're weeping and bewailing, and he responds to them with, why make you this ado and weep? I think it's okay to have that twice, that they're weeping and bewailing. Jesus came into the ruler's house and saw the minstrels and the people making noise. Okay, so he came into the ruler's house and saw the minstrels. So he saw them from the outside, permitted only three to come in. Then when he's inside, he saw the flute players and the people making noise, which is weeping and bewailing. Or maybe it really just is that he had only those five go in and then saw the tumult and all the people. No, because Mark says he saw before he actually came in. Mark says he saw the group before he came in, Matthew says he went in and then saw the flute players. So there's different things that he saw. I'm not rearranging it. It makes sense this way, according to Matthew and Luke. I'm just going to stop going around in circles and just put it in. Mark only. And sees the tumult. And them that wept and wailed greatly. Luke 8:52. And all wept and bewailed her, but he said, weep not. You know what? Maybe I can just move wept and bewailed up to when it was used earlier. Yeah, I think that might be better. Bewailed, wailed, bewailed, they're pretty much the same. But I'll say B is Luke only, and then wailed is both. Her has to come afterwards. Her greatly. When Jesus came to the house of the ruler of the synagogue and sees the tumult and them that wept and bewailed her greatly, he permitted no man to follow him in, save Peter and James and John, the brother of James, and the father and the mother of the maiden.